Turning Point Action, the political arm of the organization started by Charlie Kirk, endorsed Attorney General Ken Paxton in the Republican primary. Why is that a big get for Paxton?
Well, that is a huge get for Paxton. That shows that there's a lot of energy from the more conservative activist base behind him. And, he is challenging Senator John Cornyn, who's in really the primary fight of his life. This is going to be one of the first Republican primaries this cycle, and probably one of the biggest to really test the strength of the establishment Republicans, who are all, the leadership is all backing Cornyn, versus that MAGA aggressive Ken Paxton upstart, who has really made his brand as Attorney General in Texas about being an aggressive litigator. But he does have a lot of personal baggage too. He overcame like an impeachment attempt, and he has a messy divorce that has caused him heartache and grief, which is causing a lot of people who support Cornyn or think that he would be a better choice to say, well, why is Turning Point Action, an organization that has associated with Charlie Kirk, who is so big on the importance of family, supporting a candidate who has very public allegations of infidelity. So that is, kind of interesting there. But there's a third candidate in the race too, which is why this is such a close and unclear primary and how it's going to shake out. Representative Wesley Hunt of Texas, he is in the running too. And with that vote splitting three ways, you could very well see Cornyn heading to a runoff, potentially even losing that runoff depending on how it goes. So that primary is March 3rd.
Yeah, tell me a little bit more about the backlash to that endorsement, especially from the Republicans supporting incumbent Senator John Cornyn.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, the Paxton really, his alleged infidelity, which his ex-wife made public in a statement, was really at the center of an impeachment attempt against him and alleged inappropriate relationships with his staffer. And so it's just very messy. But that is, one of the things that was so important to Charlie Kirk, to a lot of these conservatives, social conservatives, is the importance of family. It's very in vogue on the conservative activist base right now about keeping families together, having as many kids as possible. And so for them to endorse a candidate who's had those personal allegations against him, be very public and messy, it's kind of questioning what is actually the goal here. But, Cornyn is really, he has had some struggles with some of his past support for trying to find bipartisan gun control legislation, some of his past immigration work to find a bipartisan immigration deal. That is really drawing backlash from the kind of Republicans and conservatives who are no compromise on those kind of things and don't think that, and that the argument is essentially that he's an establishment Republican, not representing the interests of the conservative base. So that is why he's having such a tough primary right now.
From a 30,000-foot view, why do you think this race is being so closely followed?
Well, one big question is, what is the conservative movement and Republican Party going to look like after Trump? And this is going to be a very big indication of where that energy in the base and in the voter base lies after Trump. Trump has not made an endorsement in this race. He's kind of letting it shake out. And if Cornyn loses, that's going to be steering the party in a very different direction. There's also concerns that if Paxton does win, that Democrats could have a better shot in Texas. It really depends on what happens in that primary as well. And Democrats have long wanted to win statewide in Texas, haven't been able to do it quite yet, but that's also a concern. And if the conservative base and primary voters go with the more anti-establishment, even as problematic or as controversial as his personal issues may be, and go with Paxton, that is going to be an indication that kind of energy might sustain long past Trump.
Yeah, very interesting primary over on the Democratic side as well, but that is a topic for another video. So for now, we'll leave it at that. Emily Brooks, always great hearing from you. And you too can have Emily Brooks right in your inbox. Just head over to thehill.com, click on newsletters, and subscribe to the movement. Thanks, Emily.
Thank you.